How are you guys doing? My name is Nick, here with Urbexcross, and I'm out at my secret little single track playground that I've created. And today we are talking about the ultimate KTM 250 EXC-F mods, from a stock bike to a Savage. Yes, this is going to be a video about modifications, but in no means is this stock 250 EXC-F a bad bike whatsoever. These bikes are great. I've wanted a KTM since I was a little kid. I finally got one. I freaking love this thing, and I've decided to kind of tweak a few things here and there. I just wanted to customize a few things, add a little bit more protection, a little bit more of my own personal flair. So I'm going to be going through a modification list from A all the way to Z. These are going to be in alphabetical order, and I would say probably 90 to 95% of these modifications are going to also work for the 350, 450, and 500 EXC-F. So if you like KTMs, you like modifying your bike, this is going to be a video for you. Links to all of these different modifications will be in the description down below as well. All right, you guys, I've got a full freaking list here of all the different modifications I've made. To start out, we're going to be starting with appearance and body. The first thing you're going to notice is an updated graphic treatment. This bike right here is a 2017 model. If you know what a 2017 KTM bike looks like, the graphics weren't necessarily in the same style. Those bikes were more black and orange. They didn't have a lot of this white and some of the purples and, you know, other colors going on. So I wanted to update the graphic treatment to bring this 2017 bike to look almost factory brand new 2024. So that was my goal with that. I also put the factory WP suspension sticker on here, just gives it a little bit of an updated look as well. Next thing you'll notice is the KTM Italy seat cover. This is kind of a factory seat cover style as well. Next thing of note is going to be I changed the rear wheel bearings. Down in here, there was a little bit of play when I would wiggle the wheel after I first got the bike, and just out of safety, it's a good idea to switch those out. Wasn't too hard once I got the Tusk bearing puller tool. They just popped right out. So if you're ever thinking, hey, might need to change my bearings, get that tool. It's a lifesaver. Brakes are pretty much stock. The only change that I did is I put an aftermarket, I believe this is the Tusk brake pedal. It's a little bit wider. The stock one was super duper dinky, so this just kind of came out just a little bit. Hopefully that helps. I've enjoyed it riding so far. Now on our way over to drive, I've got a 14 tooth front sprocket, 48 tooth super sprocket, and a Dirt Tricks sprocket dome washer. I've also got the Acerbis Chain Guide 2.0. This was put on by the previous owner, super helpful. Now, I like to ride this bike on all kinds of off-road, hills. I like to drive it in urban areas, and in doing so, I drop the bike quite a bit. In anticipation for dropping said bike, I've got quite a few, I guess we can call them Enduro hardware items. One of them is the orange Tusk grab handle. On the right side of the bike, there's a nice grab handle, super duper sturdy. Screws in through the exhaust bolts right here, and you could just lift the whole entire thing up off that. That's super handy. I've also got the Moto Minded Flex license plate. So if you can see here, the license plate is really bendy. It doesn't have as much of a rigid style, and anyone who knows me knows I break my license plates all the time. I was going to the BMV freaking 3 times a month because of just breaking my license plate. So if you drop your bike a lot, this is going to help save your plate. I also scanned my license plate and just kind of printed it out and laminated the license plate. So yeah, is this necessarily 100% legal? No, but I always keep my actual plate in my backpack anywhere I go. On the front, we've also got a giant loop pole strap. So if you're really down in the dumps, your buddy can help you grab this, pull on the forks a little bit, and help you get your bike out of a real sticky situation. Engine-wise, I've got the JD Jetting Power Surge 6X fuel piggyback tuner. That really helps once I opened the exhaust up to get the right amount of fuel mix into the engine so that she's running nice and cool and powerful. On this bike as well, I've got the Recluse Auto Clutch 3.0. This was installed by the previous owner. I wasn't quite sure how I'd feel about the Recluse, but now that I've had it on there, I've been riding with it, I kind of enjoy it. The major downfall is if you're on a hill like over here and the bike starts leaning back, and let's say you fall, you pick the bike back up, that bike is going to want to roll down the hill. Typically, without a recluse, if you pick the bike up after you stall it, the bike's rear tire is locked, and you can kind of feather the clutch to help ease your way down the hill. With the recluse, it's kind of in an auto neutral state, so she just wants to roll. So sometimes, if I'm in a real sketchy situation, I'll just kind of send the bike down the hill until it's a more comfortable spot, and then I'll pick it up and kind of go from there. So that's the one gripe I've got. Everything else, I love it, man. I've really enjoyed it, to be honest with you. Didn't think I'd be a recluse guy, but shoot, man, it's kind of what happened. Moving over here to exhaust, this is a new one. This is the newest mod that I've put on this thing. It is a Q4 FMF slip-on. I don't have the full system, maybe in the future, but for now, I got this beast of a thing. It sounds pretty decent. It's much quieter at idle. I previously had the Pro Moto Billet Fastway exhaust, and I think my exhaust maybe was needing a repack because it was damn loud. And I've always wanted an FMF since I was a kid too, so I was like, frick it, man. Let's do the Q4. I like how it says quiet technology. It's still pretty loud, so if you're curious how these sound, they're a little bit louder, but hopefully a step lower with the spark arrestor in the rear, and I can do some trails and stuff like these without getting caught. This is the Acerbis X exhaust heat shield. It is plastic though, and as you can see, it's literally melting to my header pipe. So this is soon to be swapped out for a P3 heat shield. I'm gonna pull this header off, polish it, make it nice again. But yeah, this works good, but if you drop your bike a lot, you're gonna melt plastic to it. So honestly, spend a little bit more, get a better heat shield. You'll thank me later. On the fuel side over here, we've got the Taco Moto 90-degree fuel pump fitting. This bike originally had a 3.5 gallon IMS tank on it. That was great. I just didn't have a need for that much gas. I'm never on the road or on trails for that long. So I put the stock tank back on. In doing so, needed to put a different fitting. Hollered at Taco Moto and they really hooked it up, being able to put this together to put my stock tank back on, so that was cool. As far as filters go, we are running no toil air filters here on the inside. I've been loving no toil. It's much easier to clean, and I can't complain so far. It's been pretty nice. All right, down to the fun options here. Handlebars and controls. Right here, we're rocking the Pro Taper CR high bend bar. Comes with the bar pad. I just bought a orange bar pad to match the orange bar. Came with the black one, but I mean, come on. Orange on orange, let's go. I've got ODI lock-on grips as well on clutch and brake side. I also put a BRP CNC key relocator. So that's what this guy is right here. Moves your key location from being kind of up in this strange little pocket here to something much more accessible. You can just flick it on or off. I've enjoyed it right there. I've also got the double take mirror for doing dual sport riding. It's been pretty nice. Tucks right in there when you want to just stay on the trail and don't want to get impaled by a freaking mirror. We're rocking the Midwest Mountain Engineering clutch and brake cover on both sides. Those have been super cool. I just need to change my fluid in both. I feel like they're getting a little bit stiff, but next time. I'm also rocking a KTM keychain. I got this from Rocky Mountain and just kind of cut this end off. And yeah, it makes a cool little key. Just a little pro tip. Now on the intake, here on the airbox side, the reeds were removed on this. And I've also got the Slavens airbox intake tube that kind of goes down in this way. If you don't know what those are, give them a quick Google. Slavens has a really cool way to kind of adapt these to suck in more air, more power, more fuel, more fun. On lighting, we've got the Acerbis VSL LED headlight. This thing is brighter than hell, dude. I'll turn her on just so you can have a little glance. It's freaking bright as shit, dude. These LEDs pump out a lot of light, so that's been quite an improvement from before. Speaking of graphics, I also put the Acerbis orange logo down here. I made this myself. Typically it's just white text. I don't know. Like I said, I'm an artist, so I like to really curate these kind of things, and you know, I feel like a little subtle touch like an Acerbis orange, you know, why not? I don't know anybody else who has that, so kind of cool. We're rocking the fork wrap LED front turn signals here from Taco Moto. Got the turn signals popping off there. Here's the other side. Super trick, super cool. Love them. All right, protection. We are rocking the KTM factory wraparound plastic handguards. These are the standard flags that come on the bike, but you can get these plastic wraparounds. that screw right up into the handguard. I love these, man. I was worried because typically I've had metal ones before, and I was kind of worried, dude, with plastic. I'm like, dude, are these gonna snap in half? Are they gonna break? But they're kind of a bendy sort of plastic, so I don't know, they're right in the middle ground of somewhat soft but enough to protect your hands from smashing into trees. I think they've been pretty great so far. I've really crashed the shit out of this thing, and you know, nothing really to show. It protects all the levers and everything else, so it's been kind of neat. We've got Bulletproof Designs radiator guards. I hand painted these tangerine to match with the rest of the bike. I use Montana 94 spray paint to paint those orange, and then I just clear coated the living hell out of them, and they've been holding up pretty well. I'm kind of stoked on that. The other day, I put these Acerbis Z mud fork gaiters on there to protect my fork seals. Time will tell on how those hold up, but they seem to be doing a decent job so far, and they look kind of trick as well. I've got the Acerbis X-Brake front disc guard here in orange and black. I've also got a Tusk billet rear brake guard, and it's taken a little bit of abuse already, so it's doing its job. I've got the Acerbis X-Grip frame guards that grip your legs here and also protect you from getting burnt by the exhaust, so that's been kind of neat. Those are very handy. And we're rocking an Acerbis off-road skid plate. I might replace this with a SX skid plate here in the near future, but for the time being, it's been working pretty good. Suspension, this is kind of a new one. I don't know if you can see this too well on the camera, but right here, we've got these STR speed bleed fork valves, which are super handy when you want to bleed your forks. Simply just press down, easy as that. Another item on suspension, we've got the Slavens Racing rear shock for the Explore PDS. That's been a game changer. I had the rear shock and front forks, new springs, new shock, and the bike just handles so much better. It's sprung for my weight. I can't stress enough, if there's any specific mod you should do, freaking suspension, man, night and day. Night and day. It's not really valved to the type of riding I do. It's just the stock valving. So in the near future, if I come up with a couple hundo or something, I might put it to some improved valving on these things. But for now, for what I do, it does the trick. Now tires and wheels. Here on the rear wheel, we've got the Tusk D Sport rear tire. I put Lucioli inner tubes in the rear and front tire. Those were an absolute freaking experience trying to put on. But I've run them through hell and high water literally so far, and super reliable, super easy to maintain. I had tubeless before. It was all right, but I love Lucioli. I love having a tube, and I love having one that's about as thick as the damn tire itself. People who complain about the weight on them, man, I can still pick the bike up like it's nothing. It's still a KTM. The bike's light enough. You can put heavy-duty tires on there to keep you on the trail. That's how I see it. I've got a Kenda Trackmaster 2 on the front tire. That's my favorite front tire for sure. As far as items that I've removed, like I said, I removed the stock exhaust with the Fastway end cap. It was just too damn loud. I removed the IMS 3.5 gallon gas tank. And any of these things that I've removed, if you want them, hit me up, man. I'm trying to sell them, so holler at your boy. I've also got a black seat concept seat for this thing. I think it's the tall seat. I'm a short guy. I don't need no tall seat. I had a moto-minded dash as well. Kind of bulky, kind of cluttery. I decided to take that down. Like I said, tubeless front and rear. Had to take that system off. I still got it laying around. If you're interested in trying tubeless, let me know. I also had Cycra full wrap handguards and the stock headlight as well. But I know what you're wondering. All right, that's cool and everything, but I'm not going to do all of this stuff to my bike. Give me the 5. Give me the 5 that you just think are the bee's knees. The 5 that if I had your bike, these are the ones I would have to do. And the first one I would have to say, the graphics, man. Graphics really pull a bike together. It just, you know, here I'll show you a quick little photo or video of the bike before I ever did any graphics to it. And here's what it looks like now. It just, man, it looks like $1,000,000, dude. It looks freaking factory. Looks very contemporary, which I like. I would also say suspension, the Slavens fork springs and rear shock, game changer. That's probably my favorite mod. The Acerbis headlight, that's been super duper nice. The speed bleed fork valves up in here, those have saved me some time as well. And it's so easy to just bleed the front forks. It's super dope. And last but not least, I know you probably don't want to hear me say it, but the Recluse, man. That thing's pretty dope, dude. That thing's pretty damn handy. I'd be lying if I said I haven't enjoyed the living hell out of it. And it's saved my ass in quite a few situations. So, you know, I would say that's the top 5. But if you've got a KTM and you're considering some of these mods, drop in the comments what mods you have done to your bike, what mods you think I should do to mine, and kind of what your thoughts are. It's been, like I said, a couple months taking things off, putting things on, adjusting, fine-tuning, and I feel like now it's at a place where I love it, man. All I got to do now is maintain it, dude, and I'm set. I'm set. Thankfully, KTM makes maintenance on these pretty easy. You got to do a little bit more of it, but they've engineered it to be pretty damn simple. So yeah, it's in its final form right now, and I've been loving it, man. I've been absolutely loving it. I'm gonna run through, give you a few riding clips of it in action. Let's hop on this friggin' thing, man. Ooh, mama. Listen to that thing, man. I appreciate you liking, commenting, subscribing. Keep that shit up. I appreciate you guys. Urbex over everything. Peace.